It's just, I'm sorry, I don't care how good the message is or how helpful it could be. It's a red reflector-eyed, leathery winged creature with big, hairy, muscular legs. So you're not going to want to stick around to see what it's got to say. You're going to want to get out of there. But that's interesting, though. That's how it defended itself. It just appealed to the pity of the hunting party.
Well, and there was another group of kids from a local high school in the area that I guess went up in the mountains, and this woman reports also in the video that they went in there looking for it, and that they came running out scared to death. One of them was scratched up and said it had been attacked.
Ooh.
And she said she tended to that kid's wounds herself.
Yeah.
And she said that they heard someone scream in the forest,
"Tourists! Damn tourists!"
Wait, so
now he's translating, by the way. I want to remind you from
okay.
Dyatlov Pass, a tourist can be a hiker or somebody that goes.
Just an outdoors person.
Yeah, an outdoors person. But this creature apparently screamed that, and then they came out of there. So anyway, these are all global sightings, and I think since we've already touched on it a little bit, we should maybe talk about it. Just the idea of this thing maybe being nothing more than a cryptid. Now, when I say nothing more, cryptids are still fantastic things because they're creatures not known to science, and a lot of people think that the study of cryptozoology is a pseudoscience, and maybe it is, but it's still, I think it's entirely plausible that there are creatures that haven't been discovered. They're turning up every day. New species are being found even in the Amazon and in the ocean on a daily basis.
This was just in the news. Yeah, somebody discovered a species of snake that it's not the thread snake. The new one may have been even smaller than the thread snake, but I think the biologist that discovered it named it after his wife, which you can do if you're the one who discovers the new species. And so the joke there from the broadcast was that, do you think you got any flash on a daily basis? This was just in the news. Yeah, someone discovered a species of snake that it's not the thread snake. The new one may have been even smaller than the thread snake, but I think the biologist that discovered it named it after his wife, which you can do if you're the one really horrified of this. Right now, Scott is checking down to see to make sure a spider has crawled in his camera because he's
a spider out here.
Being found all the time. We were talking about the ivory-billed woodpecker that they think went extinct, but they think has maybe reemerged. So maybe there's only 4 or 5 of them in the wild. Strange beasts used to exist, massive ones. Now, of course, our environment now doesn't really support that, but who knows what's left over?
Yeah, but the larger it is, the less likely it seems.
Exactly. So
that's one thing.
So it's not very likely, but at one point, millions of years ago or more, these strange things did roam the earth, and they went away. So that is possible. Now, if you're going way out there, and it's like, this is not just a giant bird, but it's a bird man with a human face, leathery wings with strange abilities. Now that's where you get into the crypt part of the cryptid. It's a mystery. I know you're a real ancestry buff. Aren't you always claiming to be related to King Canute the Great?
Well, I'm not sure about that, but I was able to trace my family back to Fort Jodocke, Vinland in the year 160, but it gets a little murky before that.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe there is something to all of your outrageous boasts, because you're on the right track. The Danish king Canute the Great, who came along about 830 years later, or Canute the Old, was king of England, king of Norway for a little while, and had a hegemony over Sweden.
Hegemony. My whole life I've been saying, no, it's okay. My whole life I've been saying hegemony. I've clearly been wrong. I've never had to say it out loud until this commercial. Either you're just saying the word hegemony, or you've been watching more lectures on the Vikings over at the Great Courses Plus.
Well, both, actually. So I guess you could be descended from royalty, but I'm not calling you Scott the Great.
Speaking of names, though, I learned that Canute's grandfather was King Harold Bluetooth, which is where we get the name for the wireless technology you're all probably using right this second.
See? History really does have a direct connection to the present. And what better way to get to know history's relevance to your own life than by watching the Great Courses Plus? But it's not just about history over there. You'll get access to courses on everything ranging from music and literature to cooking and self-improvement.
With over 500 courses and 6,000 lectures and new ones being added all the time, I can virtually guarantee that there's a lot of topics over at the Great Courses Plus that you'll want to learn about. And why not learn from the top experts and professors in that field?
And you can watch them on any device you own, like a laptop, tablet, or phone, or you can stream them on your TV at home. If you start a lecture on one device, you can pick it up right where you left off on another. There's really no excuse not to make yourself smarter and more productive in your spare time with the Great Courses Plus. Now you can see for yourself by taking advantage of a special offer for our listeners. get 1 whole month of free, unlimited access to any of their courses.
That's right. Start your month-long, unlimited, free trial membership now by signing up at thegreatcoursesplus.com/legends. Again, that's thegreatcoursesplus.com/legends.
I've been getting a lot of compliments on my movement watch ever since I made it my daily driver. You know, that's an automobile enthusiast term, meaning the car you drive every day.
Yeah, I know that. But you're right. I've been getting a lot of notice from mine too. I think because it doesn't look like any other watch out there, and people want to know what it is. Then they ask how much it is, and I tell them, and then they really take notice.
Yeah, that's because it's hard to believe you can get such a classy-looking watch starting at just $95.
The 2 college guys who started the company wanted just that, a quality watch with cutting-edge style for an affordable price. They knew what to look for in a high-end watch, but they couldn't afford what was available in stores, so they started their own company, cut out the middleman so they could sell direct to you, and created a movement.
And now, just a few years later, they've sold over 500,000 watches in 160 countries. They have a wide selection for men and women, interchangeable straps to change up your look, and a line of really cool sunglasses.
Movement Watches features classic designs combined with modern minimalism. And with free shipping and free returns, it couldn't be easier to step up your watch game. Get 15% off today by going to movementwatches.com/legends.
That's mvmtwatches.com/legends. Join the movement.
Hello everyone, I'm Blondie, and this is Astonishing Legends. Let's get back to the show.
What would this thing be? You know, it's never been described as dinosaur,
right,
in its nature, like looking like a dinosaur, I should say. It's always been described more as humanoid looking. I guess if it was an animal, an unknown species, that screeched and had no neck, and was seen at night, of course this one was seen in the daytime too, it does seem most like an owl of some kind.
Yeah, a screeching owl.
But there are no owls that are 7 feet tall. Now let's say people are making a mistake.
Right.
But there's not even any owls that are 4 feet tall. There's not even owls, or even the biggest owl is 1.5 feet, right?
Exactly. Well, no, now I read another article related to, this was either referring to the giant Alaskan bird, or it could have been Canada, but it was up north. So the biologists were thinking that it's a species of eagle. So it's kind of like an osprey, kind of a fish eagle, or, and the guy says, well, they get pretty big. Now, the wingspans get to be about 6 to 8 feet. Okay, there's a big difference when you double that.
Yeah.
No, you saw this species of animal, and yes, it gets to about 8 feet, and you described something that was 10 feet, but something that's 20, 25 foot in wingspan, that's a big difference, and I think people, especially pilots, they have to gauge and judge distance visually.
Yes.
To get pretty good at it, and I don't think a plane load of people would just freak out at, you might say, look, there's a big bird, but something that size, it's going to make an impression.
Well, there is one of the sightings, and it's interesting. If you look in Gray Barker's book, in the back of his book, he reproduced a list of sightings that he borrowed from John Keel.
Yeah.
There's an appendix of sightings. In one of those sightings, the witnesses cited seeing 4 of them at once.
Wow. Yeah. A family. A flock.
So then you get to the idea that it is a cryptid and that there are more than one creature, and maybe that's why there were so many sightings, is that the people were seeing lots of different ones. There was a flock of Mothman.
Well, they're all over the place. That's the other strange thing, is that there's different species. Like regular birds, you find them in certain areas of the country or the world, and not others, because they don't all adapt to their environments the same way, and so they tend to collect. Now, I punched in a large bird. I was actually looking for something else, and I came across a listener email just by accident. Now, we do read all these things, I assure you, but this is way back from February 20th, and I don't think either of us had responded. Where some of them we have if they're real simple, but I wanted to relay this because it really does fit what we're talking about here. So he's not given us permission, so I'm just going to call him Rob. But he wrote into us, and he says, hey, guys, love the show. I wanted to add that, too, because it's nice. Just discovered you, and I've told all my friends. Also very nice. Here's the good part of the story here. I grew up in Texas during the 70s. I remember news stories about a giant bird that was sighted in South Texas. They said it had red eyes and a gorilla face, over 6 feet tall. As a kid, I remember hearing about this creature. Some thought it was a dinosaur, others a demon. My father, grandfather, and great-grandfather were born on the King Ranch, a massive piece of land.
The famous King Ranch.
Very famous,
Yeah.
yes. There's a version of the Ford.
The
truck.
big fancy version, the like $50,000 version.
Yeah, I've ridden in one. It's got,
King Ranch Ford.
oh, it's got really nice catcher's mitt leather in there.
Yeah.
Very swanky.
Yeah.
It's a very famous ranch. So, a massive piece of land. Many tales of ghosts and even werewolves I heard from my grandpa. There you go, Skywalker.
Yeah.
They were told to him by his father. So when this giant bird came along, none of my family was surprised. I always wondered what that bird was. I know you have so many stories, but I'd love to hear you bring it to life again. Thanks.
Hey, we did it. First of all, we're answering your email 10 months later.
Months and months later. But
11.
no, seriously, again, folks, we do read all the emails, but we're just so overwhelmed that they go into a information collective here, so we can search on different terms and
Yeah, we keep them all. And
yeah, if we come across a story though that's related like this, and again, this goes to show me and hopefully all of you that these stories take place all over the country, different countries all over the world.
Yeah,
of
we should
strange beasts.
we should start asking our people that write us emails to put keywords in them. They're coming into our Google account, which is astonishinglegends@gmail.com. Then we can search things if we're looking for specific stories that relate to something. So
Yeah, be descriptive. Put some searchable keyword terms in there, and no, we do collect them all. But like I said, and when we do actually respond, we put the responses and the letters into a database. Scott gave up on it because he was doing so many of the letters, answering them. But I still try and do it. It allows us to filter different things. So,
yes,
in any case, that's a great story. Thanks, Rob. And the part that's interesting: red eyes, gorilla face.
yeah, it is interesting. And imagine this is nothing more than a family of cryptids, some unknown creature that has been misidentified, and it happened at a sort of a strange time. Maybe there was coincidences going on with the Men in Black. Maybe Woody Derenberger was hallucinating or didn't really see anything.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff to be casting
Sure.
away.
Yeah.
But imagine that this creature and its family have a nest in an abandoned building, which is where birds live.
Yeah.
And
Well,
maybe
owls do, yeah.
when people are coming around, they're getting too close to the babies.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the mother's got to go out in the daytime and look for food, or go dogs, but or whatever else.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sure, the animal was staring at these people, like the elderly man in Chad's illustration for this week's show, which actually that story was from the last part, but still,
Yes.
if you come face to face with a wild animal,
Yeah.
it's not unusual to have a staring contest with it. That's a simple matter of dominance.
Right.
And
I wouldn't recommend it, though.
I would not recommend. I'm just saying you might find yourself in that situation where you're looking at each other while both of you try to figure out what's going to happen next.
You don't want to turn and run, because that's, for most wild animals, especially predators, that is a signal to come chase you and eat you. So
Yeah,
there's something about the pervasiveness, to me, of the red eyes that's
Yeah.
significant, because it's not only just in cryptids and weird stuff like that, it's shadow people.
yeah.
Have often been described with red or fiery orange glowing eyes. What is it about wherever these things are coming from that everybody needs red glowing eyes that,
Yeah.
that beams gamma rays at you or causes conjunctivitis?
Klieg's conjunctivitis.
Yeah, it's getting out of order here, but I was going to say, if they are from somewhere that's not so they're bringing with them some of their conditions. And what is it like on the other side, or where they're from? Is the air the same? It's like Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass. Like when Alice says, maybe mirror milk isn't good to drink, kitty. Some things are not, they seem the same. So the same thing in Stranger Things. Remember when they go through, they have to wear suits because the scientist there, maybe it's Matthew Modine, says, like, well, the air is not completely the same. It's kind of toxic.
Right.
You don't know what kind of phenomenon or aspects or side effects that whatever it is are bringing, but the conjunctivitis, that was really, that welders get, and staring into a Klieg light, any kind of carbon arc light, something very bright will cause.
All right. Well,
Okay.
moving on from cryptids, we're doing pretty good here.
Okay.
I want to talk a little bit about something that came up in some of the earlier parts, and I want to get back to it because we're talking about theories now. And this is part of the idea of the Mothman as a symptom of something else, and not necessarily a cause.
You mean a curse?
I do mean a curse, and I want to talk about the cornstalk curse for one thing. That's the first thing I want to mention here in this particular area, because that on its surface doesn't sound all that threatening. Cornstalk curse, but I'd like to remind everybody that Chief Cornstalk was the man, the great warrior who was gunned down.
In the holding cell.
Yeah, already in captivity, unarmed, after some soldiers from the fort he was being held at, which was at the crossroads and just outside of Parkersburg, West Virginia, where Indrid Cold also appeared to Woody Derenberger.
That's right.
Cornstalk cursed the land, cursed the area, cursed everything around it, and a lot of people think that that has led to a great series of disasters in the region, which might go so far as to have contributed to the collapse of the bridge.
Right.
There's a website that has a list of a lot of the tragedies that were attributed to the Cornstalk curse. It is called prairieghosts.com, and if you go there and look up Cornstalk, you'll find it. The site belongs to Troy Taylor, and it's really fascinating, the page that he has on the Cornstalk curse under Haunted West Virginia. And he mentions 8 specific incidents that some people have attributed to the Cornstalk curse. 1907, the worst coal mine disaster in American history. Monongah, West Virginia, December 6, 310 miners killed. 1944, 150 people killed by tornadoes in the area. The bridge, 1967, we've already told you about. 1968, an airplane crashed near the Kanawha Airport, killing 35 people. 1970, November 14th, DC-10 crashed in the mountains near Huntington, 75 people killed. 1976, a man came to the Mason County Jail in Point Pleasant, where his wife, Harriet Sisk, had been arrested for the murder of their child and blew himself up, blowing up the jail with bombs.
Wow.
1978, freight train derails, dumping thousands of gallons of toxic chemicals. The chemicals contaminated the town's water supply. The wells were abandoned. 78 again, 51 men working on the Willow Island power plant were killed when their scaffolding collapsed. Town of St. Mary's, just north of Point Pleasant. So there's been a lot of tragedies there. Now, of course, you can single out a lot of areas, and especially industrial type areas along rivers.
Yeah, absolutely.
There might be a common thread.
Right.
These sound particularly bad to me. There's high death tolls in a lot of them.
Yeah.
And it is something to think about when you think about the possibility of a curse, if you believe any of this at all.
In curses?
Yeah, if you believe in curses specifically, I sure know they do in Louisiana. And
there's a difference there in that on an individual level, human to human. If you have somebody who believes in witch doctory and they place a curse on you, I'm willing to believe that the person themselves, it's kind of what in psychology, the self-fulfilling prophecy, where if you believe that you're going to get sick and sicker and sicker and sicker, you can make yourself physically sick.
yes,
The mind is a very powerful agent, especially with your own body. So if you believe that, yeah, I believe you can waste away with an illness that is started off in your head because you believed it. Now, can someone or some entity or person put a curse on a whole region? Who knows? It might be a statistical thing too, and I think the skeptic or the scientist would look at, well, take any other regions of the country where this hasn't happened. What are the likelihood of disasters, and what's the history of how many things happen? So it's hard to say. I don't know, but it's kind of like when we start talking about the Beast of Bray Road and Linda Godfrey's book. If you take the sightings and you overlay that with the Native American burial mounds, it kind of lines up.
yeah.
Then to me, that starts to, okay, I can see more of a correlation here.
If this is a curse, then so the Mothman is just a manifestation of the curse, and how is it even all related?
Well, again, that's hard to say because what are the connections, that we can understand? And one thing I will say is that I think, when we're talking about ghosts and different apparitions, or and it kind of goes into the stone tape theory of that, human energy and emotional energy gets trapped into solid physical objects and can be released for whatever reason at different times.
We talked about the stone tape theory in the Queen Mary episode. I can't believe I remember that because that's like our second or third episode.
Yeah.
But I loved that theory.
20 years ago, we started this podcast. Yeah. It's something strange that people seem to know that happens in theaters, hospitals, churches, places where there's a high amount of human emotion and energy over time. It doesn't have to all be negative. People die in hospitals, but babies are born there. Funerals are held in churches, but people get married there as well. But there is a lot of high collective human emotion and energy there. And so the question is, if you kind of work backwards from there, at the spot of a tragedy, when there's a ton of screaming people swimming for their lives, and they're not all going to make it, and they've just all experienced something horribly tragic and shocking and unexpected, when you back that up, and again, we've talked about time shifts in this little story here, things happening out of time or at the wrong time or not lining up perfectly. So then are the sightings of Mothman kind of a pre-response, a pinnacle of real human emotion and a high point of human energy being expended? So what I'm saying is that, is this thing showing up because it can sense it, or is it at the wrong time, or is it there to observe? Who knows? So it may not be like a premonition, you know what I'm saying? It might be just a mistimed reaction or causal effect.
What about this idea of UFOs and nuclear power? Because that's something that interests me too. And it's funny because it was Michael Hyman from the ARC, who lives in Point Pleasant now and is a lifelong resident. And he had mentioned that he had a friend that had this theory that it had something to do with the Defense Logistics Agency, and then maybe possibly. And
it's a good theory. I mean, it's a good line of thinking. Because it's solid. You know, you're starting off on a good ground there. Yeah,
and I'm putting words in the guy's mouth because we never spoke to whoever this person is. This is hearsay to us. We just got a broad overview. But this is what I'm taking that overview and we're extrapolating on it.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying that I think the guy probably thought was that the Defense Logistics Agency, which is responsible for moving materials around related to war weapons and things that you would need in the time of war, has a location there.
Right.
And it's entirely plausible that at this point in the late 60s, there might have been top secret or classified movement of enriched uranium or highly enriched uranium through the area.
Right.
We have since been in contact with a listener who I've had extensive discussions with, who works at a nuclear power plant and is in charge of fuel handling. And he's explained to me the protocols you have to go through. And it includes like walking the train tracks and making sure, like 6 miles of track.
Yeah.
And no photographs and all of this. It's a serious operation because you don't want that stuff falling into the wrong hands.
No, and you don't want an accident. You don't want a bunch of stuff spilling over because, again, there was a rock on the track that was large enough to cause a derailment.
Yeah.
And now you get a spill.
Yeah, so there's a lot that goes into that, and you can imagine during the late 60s when there were more concerns about war, that they might have been moving things through there, and it would have behooved them to generate as many distractions from what they were doing as possible for the sake of national defense.
It's just the fact that they're so wacky.
I still don't know how you make a Mothman to do that. You're not going to be able to dress a guy up and have him defy physics and give people conjunctivitis.
That's what I'm saying.
You know,
it's a little theatrical, sure, I'll give you that, but it's a weird way to go to create a diversion.
And here's the other thing. Beyond the diversion theory, there is a history of nuclear weapons and nuclear power plants having involvement with UFOs.
Oh, well, yeah. And since their existence.
Yeah, so, and a lot of that is documented. Some of it is not public knowledge, but we actually have a book called Faded Giant, which you can get. We'll put a link to it in the show notes. It's by Robert Salas and James Klotz, K-O-T-Z.
Right, and he talks about the Malmstrom Air Force Base incident. That's one of the big ones.
Yeah, what happened in Malmstrom?
Well, very briefly, people at the missile site had reported seeing a UFO, and right after that, or concurrent with that, the missiles go offline.
Right.
These are independently controlled missile silos because they have safeguards in place to make sure that kind of thing doesn't happen. You can't just flick a switch or hack into it and then it shuts down the whole chain. In case of an attack or counterattack, these things need to be controlled independently. So whatever it was that shut all these down.
These are isolated systems.
Yeah,
these systems do not connect to the outside world beyond lines of communications from humans to humans, at least at this time.
Right, there are redundancies. And this is not the only case, but it's a big one. It's one of the big stories. This certainly happens. I believe the data is that a flap or a incident has happened at every nuclear power plant location
in North America.
Yeah.
Every single nuclear power plant in North America has had a sighting or something unusual happen relating to UFOs.
Right. And the connection between a nuclear power plant and a missile site, a nuclear missile site, two different things going on there. One theory is that somehow with the nuclear power plant, there is a draw of energy from these things, these craft, these orbs.
They're recharging.
Possibly
your ultrasonic toothbrush. They hover over it.
Because guy was asking, it's like, what do they just hook up? They pull out the cord.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. How do you just recharge in the air? That's what I was asking.
They get there like, oh man, the socket doesn't fit.
Yeah.
We gotta go back to Langelos to plug back in.
What up, baby?
Now your cell phone, I think Samsungs do that. It's contact charge, or your Sonic Care toothbrush. There's nothing to plug in. Just by being close, it picks up the electricity there and charges itself. Now, in the case of the missile bases being shut down, the big theory there is that it's a show, that you people don't know what you're playing with. This is very dangerous stuff, and we can take your toys away from you at any time we wish. That's the message there. It's like, yeah, you think you're smart playing this brinksmanship game, but you guys got to take care of this planet. You guys got to watch out for each other, and there are bigger forces at work here than you are willing to acknowledge.
Right. And that brings me to, I mean, this is all speculation.
But there's no thread here.
There's no thread. Yeah. But it brings me to the idea that maybe there was enriched uranium in the area of Point Pleasant at the DLA, and that was drawing in the UFOs and the men in black, and maybe even the Mothman, who apparently, possibly emitted radiation himself.
What I was thinking is that somehow, and it's the eyes, whatever. It's silly. It's Superman. He's got the X-ray vision. He can fry stuff up. But what is there about that gaze from the giant red reflector eyes that is radioactive, or at least is going to give you a pink eye or conjunctivitis? So here's the question, though. Once this had all concluded and the bridge had collapsed and people are now dealing with that, I believe I'd heard a report that people saw orbs and craft leaving the area either right after or the next day or something, that like, okay, show's over here.
I haven't read that.
I had heard that report.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was from the documentary I watched, but that is one account that I had heard that, well, we do know that activity died down.
Yes, that we do know.
Most of it. That after this incident had happened, most of the activity.
Yeah, people have talked about encounters, but they're not.
Yeah.
You can't attribute them to the level of things that were happening in those 13 months.
This show is ending in a weird place, isn't it? You can wait until November 30th for our next show, or watch out for the commercial-free bonus episode we're releasing in a few days to enjoy with your turkey and stuffing.
We'd like to thank Harrys.com, Squarespace, The Great Courses Plus, and MovementWatches.com for sponsoring us. Please remember that supporting our sponsors helps support the show.
Hi, my name is Emily Bonadine, and I give permission to Astonishing Legends podcast for the show to use however they see fit.
Our show is edited by Sarah Voorhees, and the theme is by Judson Crane.
Sound design is by Ryan McCullough.
Special thanks to the ARC and its lead researcher, Tess Feifel.
But most importantly, we want to thank our listeners. You can find us online at astonishinglegends.com, as well as Facebook, Patreon, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, and Instagram.
Copyright Scott Philbrook
and Forrest Burgess. Good night.
Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's kazoo concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's bachelorette bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
This episode is brought to you by Paramount Plus. Get in, loser! Mean Girls is now streaming on Paramount Plus. Join Katie Heron as she meets the plastics in Tina Fey's new twist on the modern classic. Get ready for more of the rumors, backstabbing, and jokes you loved in the original movie with some fetch surprises. Rated PG-13. Wear pink and head to ParamountPlus.com to try free.
Extra stuff, excellence is stuffing.
What up, old man with coin? How you doing?
Make a difference. Help the next generation. You can have all of this and make a great paycheck too. EduStaff is hiring
What up, old man with coin? How are you?
Professionals in your local school districts.
I'm kicking ass and I'm taking names. I'm not just kicking ass, dog. I'm taking names as well. Okay? Both of them. Both of them. What? So, do you know what Senko is? Old man with coin. Do you know what Senko is? Okay, so this is the streaming platform that we watched the fight on like 2-3 weeks ago, Friday. Or no, we watched. No, we did not. We watched East Denver there. Okay, so I am now streaming on Senko. I'm now streaming on Senko, and Yo-Yo got me connected with the person there, and it's pretty amazing. I could show you. Just one moment. Let me see if I can do this. So stay here because I'm going to pull you up. That could be. Just one moment. Just stay right there. You're going to see. This is incredible. Lord. Oh, my word. She just jumped out. No big deal. Happens to the best of us. All right, so I'm logging into Telegram Web. Just one moment. I don't know what it is. That device keeps keeps delaying. Okay, I have to log in with QR code. Just a moment. Just one moment, old man with coin. I'm old man with phone. Log in with Telegram. Open Telegram on your phone. Settings, devices, link. This settings, devices, link desktop device. Okay. Here we go. All right. Login successful. Login. Open Telegram. Point your. Okay, I did it. Now what? Evan, how are you, dog? Evan, we've been waiting all day for you. How are you? Welcome. We're happy you're here. All right, it says login successful. There you go. Okay. I don't know why you did do it the first time. Okay. Telegram. Yo, dog. Okay, let's see how we do this. Video chat. All right, this is going to be baller, I think. It's either going to be baller or it's going to blow up in my face. like most things. It's gonna be baller. Okay, upcoming spaces this week. Okay, allow. This is gonna be sick. Or it's gonna be lame. Video chat. Alright, that one went down, but don't worry, this one. That one went down, but don't worry, this one should be pulling up in a second. And you're gonna see this computer is running like overload. Let's see if it works. Oh, you saw it. That's tight as hell. You're the man. Dude, old man coin, you're the man. Absolutely. Well, I have news for you. Every single time I've been on there, I've been trending. And the reason why is there are only like 12 people on the whole website. There aren't that many. But that's good because there are people who are involved in crypto. And the fact that they're involved in crypto means that they're perhaps people of influence. Just one moment. It's really delayed. And I think it's because there are only like 12 people.
Yeah, but that's great. Like,
okay, now you can hear yourself. You're really loud. And that's cool. I'll just turn you down.
Well, the upload or download or something.
Okay.
What usually just gets capped for me is for, like upload. If I start uploading and
okay. Here we go. Entire screen. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Telegram is sharing your screen. Good. I want to see it. I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it.
it's fucky. Like your computer can't even send a request to get downloads. So if you max up your upload, your download will suffer as well.
You're right. Oh, dude. Okay, so old man with coin, I just heard what you said, and like it really hits me in the heart. I don't know if you can hear this or if it'll be delayed, but you're right. If your upload, it's better to have available upload speed than download speed. People are like, well, I want to download all the stuff that I want. Okay, that's cool, but you can't send the request without a little bit of upload data. And you're one of the few people who I know who understands that. You understand it well. All right, let's see here. I got so much stuff going on this computer that I need to start freeing up some memory. Just a moment. Adele, how are you? Adele, we're happy you're here. Adele, we're so happy you're here. Thank you for coming. Well, I'm here, baby. Adele, what's new with you? Just one moment. I'm trying to share my screen. We're taking this stream into overdrive, into absolute overdrive. But for some reason, I'm like rugging on one of my devices. We'll get it though. I'm not too worried. We're getting it. I'm going to free up some memory. Once we free up this memory, we're going to be riding high. I have so much going. I should have really thought this beforehand. When you're like, what do you have going? I have TikTok Live Studio. I had about 1,000. Just a moment, Adele. I can't hear what you're saying. I will be able to in a second. I have to free up some memory on this device. And it's just really laggy until I do. But we'll get it. And you'll see. I'm trending on my first website, I'm trending. Now there are only like 7 other people on the website, but I'm trending, which is good. It's like the whole website. It's Senko. Go to Senko TV. Okay. Harry Potter, Obama Sonic, Penny New. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. We're going to bounce down on that one and come back. See if we can improve. All right, here's round 2. Harry Potter, Obama Sonic, Penny New. Look out. Look out. Here I come. Okay. This one seems to be doing better thus far. I can hear myself. But really what I want is to see my sexy body. Okay, here we go. Use your camera. Yeah, but what camera is it going to use? I wanted to use a specific camera. Oh, no, don't use my camera. Screen share. Oh, dude. I'm so sick. All right, audio. Also share your audio? No. Because then you'll hear everything twice. All right, share screen, share. Oh, here we go. Are we sharing now? Just one moment. I see I'm sharing. I'm sharing on 1. Okay, there you go. Excellent.
Now it's sharing.
Okay. Now.
Okay, there you go.
I'm gonna get. Oh shoot! I messed up big time. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't.
Oh shoot!
That's the exciting part of this. Okay, so we've got that going. I need to go back on Senko. I want you guys to see what I'm doing. Senko. Okay, so if you're like, what is this? Senko TV. I am going to be their spokesperson at this point.
About how many Twitter accounts have you got?
I have over 2,100 Twitter accounts, but most of them have been banned. Which I think has got to be probably the most in the world. I'm sure there's somebody out there who has more than 2,100, but these were all email verified. So that made them very difficult. Okay. Log in. We're logging into our Twitter. Now, if you're like, why did you register under your Twitter account? I just did this stupid thing where I was like, oh, I'll just register under a Twitter account as my account, not realizing that if this account gets banned, I'm pretty effed. So, come on, let's log in, dog. Or maybe we're sometimes I'm already logged in. Yeah, I was already logged in. So this website is still pretty, I don't want to say it's new because it's not. It's oh, what? Now it's logging me into Twitter? WTF, dog? Dude, we're already logged in. Yeah, authorized. Yes.
Rabbi, so you're pretty good with coding?
You would think so. Absolutely not. You're right, I am muted. You would think so. Absolutely not. I'm going to tell you what, ChatGPT is a better coder than I am.
You're right.
I don't hear anything.
You would think so. Absolutely not. I'm going to tell you what. Better coded.
Didn't you make a bot?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah, but I use other people's software to be able to make it, but I programmed it.
Yeah. But I use other people's software to be able to make it better.
Have you ever coded like Solidity?
No. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up. Oh, I want you to see this. So if you want to know what this is going to look like, it's going to look like this. I think you should be able to see it in a second.
Have you
With like a
ever
bunch of
used
screens.
like an art generator engine?
Yes, I'm using one right now as we speak.
Old man coin. Do you have experience
Yes.
in coding with AI?
Depends on what you mean.
Okay, so I mean, I have this idea in my head. Like what? So you generate the layers, and then you collect the metadata, and that gives you, say, attributes or NFT, sure, layers and shit. Right? Now, what if you could take that image that's generated and keep the metadata and then run the image through an AI generator to just change the image while also keeping metadata?
What do you in this context?
But so like in NFTs, the collections that have rarities, the rarities
Yeah,
is
for sure.
from the metadata. That's good.
It's what traits they have and how that so like a hoodie trait would have maybe less supply than others, so it
Now,
would be more rare.
what if you
So
could
they
keep
collect that from
the metadata information from the image generation, but just feed that image to AI, so you'll never have the same image, but your AI image now has rare ranking. So like Sprotos, how would I say? So like it would keep track of all the Sprotos that had a blue background or purple background or red background, whatever. Right? Is that so? Are you able to write in the code to keep the metadata and just outsource that image?
So I'm just trying to understand what you want to build here and what you have in your head. But you want to use AI to generate, let's say, what the image has in its hand, and regenerate that using
So
an
far,
AI.
so good. Yes, and still keep that metadata information.
So in this instance, we would have to we will get a word or whatever it is that we feed to the AI generator, and like the AI image generator makes something out of that word or words that we give it, and then we take that word and put it as the trait name, as it were. So yes.
Well, word can stand for multiple things, right? Like I can. It just give me an iteration of an image and present a final draft with that generated and with that iteration and the metadata still.
I'm not sure I understand.
So the first thing you do is you make the layers, all your different attributes for each layer. Okay, that's step one. Step two is to use an art generator to run all your say 1,000 images with ranking, right? You have different rankings.
Yeah, different.
Okay, now you have 1,000 images that you collect metadata on, and then you get the NFT. That's how it normally is. That's the procedure for NFTs, correct?
So normally you would have humans create all the layers,
Yes.
and then you have just a script that puts them all together.
Yes.
The layers in a randomized fashion.
Yeah.
So you want to put like the AI in the creation of the layers.
Yes. So
And that could totally be done in a workflow that looks like you could name whatever you want and name that layer like connected to a bunch of keywords that gets fed to the AI to generate it, to get it specific to what you want, because you need to, as they say, engineer the prompts for the AI to be able to generate something specific. And the more specific you are, the better it becomes. So you'd have to do something like that, like name the layer or whatever it is you want, something simple in the script, in the programmatic part of things of the generation. You would attach that in the code to whatever it is you want to feed to the AI generator. And then that comes back, and you can do that whatever amount of time it is you want. I want 100 knives. Give me 100 knives. The AI will send back, here's 100 knives.
So
here's the
instead of
knife,
making vectors and creating my new focus would be to create ad libs. So I'm thinking instead of making images, now I'm making sentences with certain words that only appear so many times. So I can't just use and get iterations of the final the randomization. That's what you're saying? I can't get iterates of the final randomization.
So what I think the Sprotos did and all these other AI projects, they don't have layers in that same layer.
One by
They're just,
and that they went through.
and you want to find a way where you can retain that and actually get an AI generated picture and have metadata that is associated with it, so you can get a rarity structure.
Get a rarity structure on an AI.
Yeah, that's totally.
And I have like so many projects too. Maybe I'll use one and see if I can figure this out. Maybe we could work together.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have picking art around time. I have 3 different projects right now that I just made all the layers and put it on the back burner. So I have it ready. We just need to write the script.
Yeah.
And then there's new code at the bottom, new line of code. So, right? You know how to write the code?
Yeah, for sure. It would have to be separated processes, so there would be a separate script that randomizes stuff through stable diffusion, and you sense it through whatever workflow gets set up.
What do you mean randomize through stable diffusion? Are we going to randomize images or word prompt?
Oh, so we set whatever it is we want and set that through. Do that through an AI too and get the items randomized, but I mean, the don't want to involve too much AI because it fucking sucks.
AI, like I see it, the only part AI has is making one iteration of a final image. So you could kind of see traits that it says it has. And I'm like, say we, for example, board 8. What if after they've generated the layers for board 8s, what if after that they fed those 10,000 images to like Midjourney?
I'm not familiar with Midjourney, but if they have an API that can serve that, sure. But it would be more efficient and more controllable.
Yeah, sorry, man. You're right. That's yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You can use pre-existing workflow in Stable Diffusion, or you have an input image, and it works only through that input image. I think that was what the Sproto ladies did. They just had a basic bitch, and ran that through, and it just painted.
But none of them have rarity traits, right?
No.
We could be the first to do that.
Hey, can I interrupt?
Okay, except in the
Go like my tweet, bro.
Everybody like
This one is
Bitcoin
important.
Martin Luther King Jr.'s tweet.
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's because we have the balls.
Everybody like right now, pronto.
Yeah.
I'm going to show it to you. Everybody better do it. He's Bitcoin Martin Luther King Jr. has asked the. Okay, so what's your at Bitcoin?
Bitcoin Martin Luther King Jr. asked the. Okay, so what's your at Bitcoin?
It's Bitcoin, I'm okay. It's Bitcoin, I'm.
You're shadow banned. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're shadow banned. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so which one are we doing? The dog? Are we liking or uploading the dog?
No, it's a reply to somebody called
Strawberry Tabby.
Reply.
You want us to choose that?
Yeah, you don't
I choose to.
have to reply. You can just like and retweet.
Dog. I complain whenever I have to do anything. What?
I better order the shirts, Rabbi. I'm gonna order the shirts off of the website. So I have like a costume, and I am gonna get a green cloth so I could set up a background. Extra there. Already have a plan. So easy.
Bang, bang, boom. Can you guys see that I'm sharing my screen live on Senko? And it's like in a bunch of different angles.
Senko, and it's like in a bunch of different angles.
Excellent.
Yeah. I see your screen.
Old man with coin, can you see it?
see it?
I can see it.
Excellent. So this is what I was saying. Like, we are streaming like a crazy man.
Excellent. So this is what I was saying. Like, we are streaming like a.
On top of that, I've got this one going here, which is crazy, meaning I got another camera here and you can see my screen.
On top of that, I've got this one going here, which is crazy, meaning I got another camera here and you can see my screen.
Okay, so here's a quick breakdown on what I'm live. Just one moment. Here we go. You are live on 5 Rumbles, 5 YouTubes, 5 Twitches, 5 Caffeines, 5 No Lives, 5 SC2s, 5 Nemos, 5 Trovos, 5 YouNows, 5 Arena.tvs, 5 D Lives, 5 Instagrams, 5 Africa.tvs, 5 Kicks, 5 Vaughn.lives, 5 Breakers.tv, 5 Conduits, 5 Lozenger Lounge, 1 ePlay, I think 4 Loco TVs, 1 Joystick TV, and 3 Vault Commanders. We're also live in a Twitter space, and you're live on 2 additional Instagrams.
We're all in the Twitter space, and you're live on 2 additional Instagrams.
Not everywhere.
It's a good. I like the strat.
It's a good. I like the strat of covering the smaller bases too.
I appreciate that. You never know what's going to be the thing to work.
Competition. Like you said, there's very few. It's good stuff.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up killing my ISP though.
Pretty sure I'm going to end up killing my ISP though.
I mean, the data is just a lot.
Yeah, your FBI having a rough time.
You got that right, Dom.
Yeah, your FBI agent is having a rough time. Way too much debt.
So, terrific.
Got it right.
How much time?
There's so much time in our lives, bro. Let's use it.
Yeah, making these Time to kick gum and chew ass. And I'm all out of ass.
Chew some ass.
Be the first one to
We could be the first ones, old man.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of different ways to get it done.
Look, I drew these images called cocktails. I have
Oh, what?
all layers. They're done, bro. I have 69 different layers for 6 different attributes. Or wait, that's backwards. 69 attributes for 6 layers.
God dang.
So you could just you could make 6,900 damage. Right.
Yeah.
And then take those final images and feed it to.
Do you have 69 images per layer?
All
So
the
that, I mean, to get 10,000 fully unique, you would only need about 15 to
it's
20.
6,900. So, and I already have the rarity. Like I already figured out the map for it. The rares and the common.
So like all these different Godzillas, they're all gonna not very many of them look alike at all.
So like all these different Godzillas, they're all gonna not very many are gonna look alike at all in the first place.
Yeah. The script I'm working with only needs like about 15 to 20 of each layer, and it'll be able to produce fully unique images over 10,000.
But will it retain like meta? Yeah, for all the images, or will it just give you?
Yes, as long, if we're just talking about normal, if you got a PSD file with layers, like you can just send them over and I can break it down, put it into the machine and generate it however many.
I can put them in a zip file and send it to like an email if you want.
Yeah.
Just DM me what email you want me to use.
We can, I think you can drop it here, unless it's super deep, too
Yeah, it's
large.
kind of large. They're 3K by 3K pixel images.
Oh yeah, that's
They're so they're high resolution. I did multiple drafts on them. They look pretty sick as they are, to be honest. I did too much for some fucking.
nice.
It was pretty close to 200 hours. Well, like it was like every day I'd get home from work and weekends, and that was for almost 2 years. And I just called it. I just said, no, fuck it. I'm not doing it. Bro, I was on Twitter, man. I was in different communities and talking to some of the influencers. Nobody wanted to get my lip. They couldn't be it. And to be fair, they were right because none of the other were successful. But I was involved in. I'm not involved, but like I supported. I bought or got from pretty much all penis NFTs that were made on it. And you know what they all did? They all like they gave it away, and they did not try to get it. It was just one person. Like they were an artist. They just wanted their spotlight for a moment.
Something that was like
But I wanted to make something that was like tears out of spray. Like I wanted to make something that people respected. And I was gonna turn them into lottery tickets and like basically with the money. But that's when they gave it up. I was like, damn, I'm doing all this just to get it again.
Yeah. But it gets iffy when adding utility, especially that kind of utility. Like the Gary Gensler doesn't like that. He gets litigious when he hears stuff like that.
Well, you know, I had that conversation with myself, and that's why I do that.
But I think you should, like, if you have it already done,
But I think you should, like, if you have it already done, that you should just, I mean, just there it is.
And let's do it as a way of doing something first. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah.
I'll generate
Oh yes.
the random images.
Because
and
yeah,
you can find two of them or whatever.
I mean,
And then
I'll generate the random images and
gather.org.
you can fine tune or whatever. And then you can just take those images and go to scatter.org. You know about scatter, right? Or Protos and Remedios and the
Yeah,
Basics.
the DF that they use to make their script.
Yeah. So you could just take those files and go through the scatter.org, like create a collection tutorial thing.
Hey, dude.
They got a very good documentation, and they have tools for you to upload the image and the metadata. So it like it's you get a correct. So there's not like technical knowledge needed for that aspect of it. So, I think you should, yeah. Like if you just have the project like that complete and lying around, then let's fucking get it out to the world. I'll gladly help out. I'm working right now on a project with
I know who that is. Motherfucking. I feel like Chris thinks I would fucking make an image for him. Cool.
well, let's respect that. I wrote myself.
Yes. It's not just a good project, it's a great man.
The correct type of vibe.
Yeah, the community has
Take that on, let's go to Telegram.
the correct type of vibes that I'm looking for personally.
Get out of almost every Telegram I'm in. I just all fit in.
Oh yeah.
But then again, they're all shit fucking scam. I couldn't help but tell them what I saw.
Like that too. Let it out kind of guy.
That I'm like that too. Let it out kind of guy. Keep it in.
Bitcoin, you got another tweet for us?
Causing legacies. That's good.
Let's see here.
Slap that shit.
Chat to get locked. If I was Dev, I could fucking shield your tweet. Yeah, don't give me advice. Scared.
Yeah, projects are pretty stingy about permissions and stuff like that. But yeah, you know, they'll.
Give you the fucking. Okay, let's do this. And you know what, bro? Like, if you are really good at, I'm pretty good at learning. Maybe, you know, I could do it on my own. Apprentice it.
Yeah.
I did try to fucking, what's it fucking called again? The, not Midjourney, but the one that used to use.
Stable Diffusion.
Stable.
What I know very little. I just wanted to fuck around with it, so I set it up. And yeah.
For some reason, one of the files just wasn't downloading properly. When I went to run the command to generate, it just said I didn't have it.
It's I would recommend you use graphical user interface.
So you don't have to do command.
For
Graphical user interface.
so you don't have to do command line stuff.
I know I have it on my Windows.
Okay. Graphical user interface.
I can't remember exactly the name of it right now. I on my Windows computer, so I have a laptop that I got all my crap on. What was it called?
That's a very good.
I think it's Comfy UI. So the COMFY, Comfy, you know, UI user interface, Comfy UI. That's a very good.
I'm gonna try to follow along. I just messaged you back. You can do it while trying to guide me. You know, get two persons. You just do it at the end while also guiding me. And hopefully I can get to the finish line too.
Actually, you know what? I can ask this. I mean, you don't have to.
I haven't asked this. I mean, you don't have to do this like right now. I can just send you the files right now, and you can do this right here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just send over the files and.
But you know, if you feel like when you are doing it, you could.
Yeah, for taking the files and putting it into my random generator, that would be no problem. But hooking it up and making the AI stuff, that would be a different story. We need to build something for that.
So you have to write that in the script. The first thing that the script does is run the images.
Yeah, so the script that I have will only like take pre-existing stuff, so the pre-existing layers. We'll take those and random generate an image from those layers, put it together, and here's the PNG for the user. And it'll do that however many times you want, and make sure that they're all unique in the batch. And it'll also, of course, assemble the metadata to go with every. So it'll like name the pictures 1.png, 2.png, up to whatever, and do the same with the metadata so that they're all connected. So the metadata will have 1.json, 2.json. JSON is the file format for it. The AI part to be, a different workflow. So,
Well, I trust you. Let's see if we can figure this out.
yeah. We can begin with just generating, taking the existing layers you have and making, X amount of copies.
I mean, on my end, I already know how to play with hash length design. I can run the images through the generator. I can produce 10,000 images from one upload.
Yeah.
I want to, and then I have metadata that I can find through the web, through the URLs.
Yeah.
Can't write a script to make a bot. Take that metadata, sign on to the fucking not journey.
Yeah.
You
Feed those words into Stable Diffusion. Yeah, and get an entirely new
and then to get an iteration.
image. Yeah, for sure.
Then take that final image and attach it to the metadata.
Yep.
Or produce a new URL for the NFT.
Yeah. So you want the original image, or do you want to have two images as well?
Could you just have the new image showing with the metadata, or does that have to be additional content?